Smart Crypto Investing, episode number 19. And welcome, smart crypto investors, to the Smart Crypto Investing Podcast. I'm your host, Chuck Rivers. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today is May 2nd, 2018. It's actually been a little over a month since I posted the last episode. If you guys, and I'll link to it in the show notes, if you listen to the last episode, we're talking about revamping the podcast and changing some things up to try and go with what's currently happening within the crypto space. So a couple of things are different, and as we put out more episodes and as we start to grow the community, we're going to be changing some things up eventually down the line. But as of right now, so previously we were releasing episodes on Fridays. So now we're actually now going to release those episodes on Wednesdays. We changed up a little bit of the artwork on the podcast as well. Initially, we were going to initiate a Facebook community, but we'll actually hold off on that project, and we'll reopen that probably towards the third or fourth quarter of 2018, just to see how things are going with the podcast. So I really don't have anything for today's episode per se, but I did want to briefly discuss an article that was on ccn.com, and I'll post it in the show notes as well. The title of the article reads, $40 trillion cryptocurrency market cap, definitely possible. Pantera Capital CEO. So I'll read, let's see, the article. It's not that long, so I'll go ahead and read it. The founder of cryptocurrency hedge fund Pantera Capital said on Thursday that he believes the cryptocurrency market cap could one day be worth $40 trillion. Dan Moorhead, who is also the firm's CEO, said in an interview with Bloomberg that he believes the fair market value of the cryptocurrency market cap is an order of magnitude or two above where it currently sits. And this is a quote from Mr. Moorhead. It says, obviously, we're very bullish on the space. We think we're way below, maybe an order of magnitude or two below the real fundamental fair value of blockchain. He said, stating later that the industry as a whole is 40 billion. It could easily go to 40 trillion, 4 trillion, and 40 trillion is definitely possible. Anything that's a $40 billion asset will not be ignored for long, he said. For the cryptocurrency market cap to reach 40 trillion, it would need to increase approximately 10,000% from its current level. If current market share distribution held constant, which of course is unlikely, the Bitcoin price would trade at nearly 1 million valuation. As CCN reported, Pantera recently issued just its fourth trading recommendation on Bitcoin in its 7-year history, arguing that Bitcoin had flashed a buy signal after dipping below its 200-day moving average. Since then, the Bitcoin price has climbed by approximately $2,000, netting investors who followed the firm's advice a 29% profit. Moorhead doubled down on that recommendation during Thursday's interview, stating that Bitcoin remained a screaming buy even after its moderate recovery. Previously, Moorhead said in mid-December that the Bitcoin price could decline by 50% or more heading into the new year, after which the flagship cryptocurrency entered a prolonged bear market out of which it has nearly recently begun to recover. Notably, the publication reports that Pantera, which was founded in 2011, currently has approximately $1 billion in assets under management. Of that, about 10% is in Bitcoin, though its largest stake in Icon, which ranks outside the top 20 of the market cap charts. So, with that being said, and as much talk is going on with cryptocurrency, believe it or not, if we're looking at the grand scheme of things, cryptocurrencies as a whole still make up less than 10%. I think it's probably even lower than that, but I'm being modest. Less than 10% of the total market value across all assets. Just 10%. And its current market evaluation is at $40 billion. So when you hear stuff like that, and when you hear certain people make certain statements within the cryptocurrency space, while you don't immediately want to jump on the bandwagon, it should raise some concerns, and it should start forcing us to start doing some additional research, like saying, okay, well, let me look at this cryptocurrency stuff. Let me at least put $10, $15, $20 into Bitcoin. Let me just see how it works. Because what's being said now is that this is the sort of the second internet. You know how when the internet came out back in the early 1990s, and everybody's saying this is a fad, this is nothing, and it wasn't that big. And of course, we know it blew up tremendously. The same thing is happening with the cryptocurrency. A lot of naysayers, a lot of people saying that it's a fad, that it's going to be here today and gone tomorrow. But when you start having certain people, certain CEOs, different institutions looking at cryptocurrency, or when you're seeing certain laws that are trying to be passed, then that should be an indicator to us that, okay, maybe this is something we need to at least look in. And again, I'm not saying to go in wholeheartedly, throw all your money into cryptocurrency. Definitely not. What I'm saying is like, start doing your research. Start doing your research, right? Invest what you can afford to lose, because even with regular stock investing, or there's a chance of risk involved, right? And that's with any investment, whether real estate, stock market, whatever investment you're making, there is going to be some level of risk, and there's ways to hedge risk against certain. There's ways to hedge and all that other stuff. And we'll get to that stuff later down the line, but just to keep things simple. Start doing your research and start small. You don't have to go into the cryptocurrency space big. Start extremely small. And that's it. So I'll post this article in the show notes. We should be back on schedule for releasing the podcast. Like I said, it's going to be released on Wednesdays, every Wednesday now. And once we get things rolling, we'll get things cleaned up a bit. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to this next phase of the podcast. The podcast has grown tremendously. We have almost 6,000 downloads, and that's just through 17 episodes. So that's pretty big, and we haven't even really been marketing the podcast. So be sure to subscribe. Please be sure to subscribe and cut on your notifications, so that way, whenever Wednesday's episodes go live, then you'll catch the notification. There may be some times where we may be going live. So if you subscribe and you'll get notification that we're live, then you can hop on live and ask any questions that you may have. So again, some big things coming down the pipeline. We're already in iTunes. We're already in iHeartRadio. The podcast is pending for acceptance into Spotify as well. So big things coming. But again, thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. And until next episode, bye for now.